Recently, China's internet has been unusually lively. A history blogger shot to fame overnight, gaining 4 million followers in just 7 days, only to be wiped from the entire internet for talking about overthrowing the Qing and restoring the Ming. CCTV released the official logo for the Spring Festival Gala, and netizens mocked it for looking almost identical to the Tank Man from June 4, 1989. A 25-year-old book series, the complete collection of Qing dynasty treaties, suddenly disappeared from all e-commerce platforms overnight. Even more interesting, in the comments section of a post by China's Taiwan Affairs Office, netizens left 30,000 comments inviting President Lai Ching-te of Taiwan to govern regions across China and begging President Lai to help them find jobs. These seemingly unrelated events actually all point to one thing: when people are not allowed to discuss history, cannot speak about reality, and see no future ahead, the only way left to express themselves is through sarcasm, metaphor, and spectacular train wrecks. China's well-known history blogger, Qigua Mengzhu, Melon-Eating Lord, recently gained 4 million followers in just 7 days, becoming an online phenomenon. But because she expressed historical views involving overthrowing the Qing and restoring the Ming, she touched the regime's most sensitive nerve and was completely banned across the internet. Media reports say that one of the triggers was her political interpretation of the classic novel Dream of the Red Chamber and her fierce criticism of Qing-era rule. With sharp language and historical sources, Qigua Mengzhu challenged the CCP's official narrative of a great unified China. She endorsed a recently popular esoteric reading school of thought that claims Dream of the Red Chamber is not a love story at all, but an elegy for the fallen Ming dynasty secretly embedded by its author Cao Shuoqin. She interpreted the early death of the heroine Lin Daiyu at age 17 as corresponding to the 17-year reign of the last Ming emperor, Chongzhen, and she argued that the male lead Jia Baoyu's name symbolizes the imperial jade seal. In her view, the entire novel is a lament for the Ming dynasty's demise and a veiled accusation that the Manchu Qing stole the country. This kind of argument, criticizing the present through the past and calling for overthrowing the Qing and restoring the Ming, sparked huge discussion online, but also provoked attacks from the authorities and some nationalist influencers. Well-known commentator Xiang Ligong wrote a post harshly condemning Qigua Mengzhu for denying the legitimacy of the Yuan and Qing dynasties, accusing her of distorting history and committing serious political mistakes. He warned that if one does not recognize the Qing as part of a unified China, then the territories annexed during the Qing era, such as the Northeast and Xinjiang, would have to be given back, which he claimed would split China into pieces. Forced to read a script supporting unity, then vanishes. After her explosive rise and the massive controversy, Qigua Mengzhu was muted by the platforms. Under enormous political pressure, more than 10 days after being silenced, she was forced to publish a scripted video completely at odds with her previous content and tone. In the video, she appears stiff and expressionless, reading word for word from an official propaganda text titled, "From Great Unification to Consolidating the Consciousness of the Chinese National Community." The script stresses support for ethnic unity. Shortly afterward, all content on her account was wiped, and she disappeared entirely from public view. Some observers believe that this so-called national community consciousness video aligns perfectly with CCP ideology, and that she used a single pretty thing to cover hundreds of uglies as her farewell performance. Her deletion of all related videos, the release of the scripted propaganda clip, and her subsequent ban have become the key evidence showing how the authorities categorize her problem. The regime would not tolerate her. Former Global Times editor-in-chief Hu Shijin also commented on the Qigua Mengzhu phenomenon. Though he did not name her directly, he criticized the online energy behind treating unserious things as serious hype and the bizarre interpretations of Dream of the Red Chamber, claiming that they reflect social resentment that has nowhere to go. Commentators note that the outcome of Qigua Mengzhu proves that in China, the right to interpret history lies in the hands of the party. Any discourse challenging the narratives of great unification and national community will face being banned, erased from society, and socially killed. CCTV's Spring Festival logo resembles the Tank Man netizens, they've rebelled. The official Weibo account for the CCP's Spring Festival Gala recently released the theme and main logo for CCTV's 2026 Spring Festival Gala. Domestic media reported that the Year of the Horse Gala adopts the theme of galloping steeds and draws inspiration from the concept of four horses running abreast, fusing traditional Chinese decorative motifs to outline a visual image of four fine horses advancing side by side. However, once this logo of four horses in a single line was revealed, netizens were shocked. They pointed out that the layout and angle bear an uncanny resemblance to the image from the 1989 Tiananmen Square protests of the tank man standing before a column of four tanks, lined up in exactly the same formation and angle as the logo. Some netizens mockingly said CCTV was in fact paying tribute to the June 4 Tiananmen incident. Others joked, "This logo design is actually very thoughtful, you can see characteristics of the number 8, of 9, and even of 64. More comments read, "CCTV Spring Festival Gala has rebelled, CCTV, you inevitably end up insulting China, the designer has ulterior motives, and there are bad people inside the party." Others pointed out, history should be faced honestly, not deleted from textbooks and silenced among the people. This reminds everyone never to forget 89 to 64 and forever remember the spirit of the tank man who sought democracy. Chinese people must stand up. Every Lunar New Year's Eve, CCTV spends enormous sums putting on a political show disguised as a gala, forcing propaganda onto the public, something the people have long mocked. In recent years, genuine viewers of the gala have dwindled. Netizens bluntly say it has become a stall packed with political brainwashing, crude jokes, and shoddy performances, and is now unwatchable. From the evening of June 3 to the early hours of June 4, 1989, the CCP mobilized nearly 300,000 martial law troops and used tanks, armored vehicles, and machine guns to brutally crush students and citizens peacefully demonstrating in Tiananmen Square. Declassified documents from the US and UK indicate that the crackdown killed at least more than 10,000 civilians. A 25-year-old book suddenly pulled nationwide, what's behind it? Next, let's talk about a major event that broke out in the past 2 days and hit number 1 on the hot search on December 15. Have you ever imagined that a historical document collection that has been in print for 25 years could disappear from the entire internet overnight? This is exactly what happened with the complete collection of Qing dynasty treaties. This 3-volume set, which records all treaties signed during the Qing dynasty, was collectively removed by major e-commerce platforms. JD.com, Taobao, Pinduoduo, all of them, in lockstep, stopped selling it. What kind of book is this? Many people may never have heard of it. It was published in 1999 by Heilongjiang People's Publishing House. The chief editor, Tian Tao, is a scholar specializing in unequal treaties signed between the Qing dynasty and foreign powers, treaties involving cession of territory, indemnities, and opening of ports. The set records treaties from the Treaty of Nanjing and the Treaty of Shimonoseki to lesser-known ones like the Treaty of Kyoto and the Treaty of Agen. It even includes agreements between Qing China and countries you might never imagine, Peru, Brazil, Mexico, and the Congo. The content is highly comprehensive and meticulously documented, essentially packaging the humiliation of that era into a complete historical summary. The scary part is that it vanished overnight. You might think this is a joke. But reporters testing dangdang.com found that across the entire site, only 3 shops still listed the book by name, with absurd prices. The 3 volumes were priced between 2,900 and 8,500 yuan per volume. And even then, there was only a listed price but no "add to cart" button, meaning you cannot actually place an order. One netizen summed it up perfectly. It's not that there's something wrong with the book, it's that the content is too truthful. Why was it removed? The reason is startling. Some people think that treaties signed by a dynasty that fell more than a century ago are too remote to matter today. So why pull the book everywhere? First, let's share a lesser-known fact. There has long been a view that the largest loss of territory in the Qing era was to Tsarist Russia, today's Russian Federation. To clarify, historical records show that in 1689, under the Treaty of Nerchinsk between the Qing and Tsarist Russia, Vladivostok was clearly recognized as Chinese territory. But in 1860, after the Second Opium War, the Qing government signed the Sino-Russian Beijing Treaty, ceding about 400,000 square kilometers of land east of the Ushuri River. During the Republican era, the nationalist government sought to regain Vladivostok. In 1945, Foreign Minister Wang Shiji and Soviet Foreign Minister Vyacheslav Molotov signed the Sino-Soviet Treaty of Friendship and Alliance. It explicitly stated that Vladivostok, the 64 villages east of the river, and the Tumen River estuary all belonged to China's sovereignty, and that after 50 years, meaning in 1995, China would regain Vladivostok. However, the recovery plan was killed in 1991. Then CCP leader Jiang Zemin and Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev reached agreement on the direction of the eastern section of the Sino-Soviet border, effectively placing Vladivostok under Russian control. On July 16, 2001, Jiang Zemin and Vladimir Putin signed the Sino-Russian Treaty of Good Neighborliness and Friendly Cooperation, which reiterated that neither side had any territorial claims against the other. China formally renounced sovereignty over the outer northeast region. From then on, the 400,000 square kilometers east of the Ushuri River, including Vladivostok, an area equivalent to 10 Taiwans, were all ceded to Russia. What happens if you open the complete collection of Qing dynasty treaties and look this up? You will see clearly who handed over territory that once belonged to China. One video blogger put it bluntly. When multiple platforms simultaneously pull the same book in a single day, how could that possibly be a coincidence? The backfire, the more they fear it, the more people want it. Now Zhihu, Weibo, and Douyin are all exploding over the issue. Some say, I never had any interest before, but now I want to understand every single treaty. Others have posted their saved PDFs and rallied people, everyone should keep a copy and study history. All at once, this 25-year-old obscure book has been dragged back into the spotlight. People now realize it doesn't just record history, it records the kind of history that certain people do not want citizens to see. The takedown of the complete collection of Qing dynasty treaties raises a deeper question about who controls the narrative of history. Can we face past humiliation honestly? Can we ask, where did Vladivostok go? This book is a mirror, and also an exam question. What's your answer? Internet uproar, netizens invite President Lai to govern regions across China. A strange phenomenon has emerged in mainland China. Recently, Taiwan's President Lai Ching-te said something rather sincere in an interview with foreign media. Taiwan is very willing to help China, to cooperate in solving the various economic problems it faces. The CCP's Taiwan Affairs Office was offended. It immediately held a press conference where spokesperson Chen Binhua dismissed the remarks as irresponsible talk and, beyond his capacity, insisting that the mainland's economic indicators are strong and show great resilience. But netizens were unconvinced. The comment sections exploded. On Weibo, Douyin, Bilibili, and even Xiaohongshu, comment threads turned into giant job fair venues. Netizens wrote, "Welcome to visit Hubei. Come to Gansu, Gansu needs help. Come to Hunan first, Hunan welcomes you." Others said, "Try the Northeast first, then roll it out nationwide. Give it a try, what if it works?" The public reaction was completely opposite to the Taiwan Affairs Office's official line. Some were even more direct. "If you want to go after corrupt officials, I'll gladly lead the way, please, come." Doesn't this feel like a real-life political comedy? And it gets even better. The sarcasm soon slid into genuine job seeking. President Lai, I heard Taiwan's minimum wage is 6,000, is that true? President Lai, I just want a 4,500 yuan monthly job that can support my family. President Lai, is there a 6,000 RMB job, 9 to 5 with weekends off? President Lai, I'm being driven crazy by online loan collectors, could you help me find stable work? Others wrote, President Lai, I don't want money, I just want to set foot on the island. President Lai, is there any way I can become a Taiwanese citizen? I really want to settle in Taiwan, what are the requirements? These are not jokes. They are 30,000 real comments. Someone did the math, about 90% were seeking help, and 9% wanted to work in Taiwan. Think about this ratio, doesn't it feel more truthful than any economic report? Authorities panic, comment sections wiped clean. Faced with this spectacular comment section meltdown, even the Taiwan Affairs Office's touted resilience couldn't withstand such reality. Within just a few hours, the 30,000 comments were deleted, and related posts were taken down. This grand, nationwide plea to President Lai ended abruptly and clumsily. But here's the problem. You can delete comments, but can you delete people's hardship? Since the end of COVID lockdowns in late 2022, China's economy has slid from slowdown to near collapse. Populations are flowing out of Shanghai, Beijing, the Yangtze River Delta, and the Pearl River Delta. Real estate developers are defaulting, foreign capital is pulling out, businesses are closing. Young people can't find jobs, streets are deserted, once busy business districts have become ghost towns. People are cutting back on spending, can't repay loans, and serious incidents are happening more frequently. President Li's cited 7.37% economic growth in Taiwan is like a demon-revealing mirror, exposing the emptiness and falsehood of the CCP's narrative. The CCP keeps shouting that the economy has resilience, but netizens are responding with their actions. We don't want slogans, we just want to live decently. When people no longer believe their own government and begin seeking help from outside, it signals a massive collapse of trust. When comment sections become mailboxes for rescue pleas, when President Li becomes a symbol of hope, what this reveals is the internal bankruptcy of the CCP regime's legitimacy and where the hearts of ordinary people are really turning, away from the CCP.